you should be able to see the vision for their life, the vision that that person has for their life, and want to partake in that vision and believe that that person is capable of achieving that vision that they have for their life, even if they haven't done it yet. That's the potential part that you are maybe investing in. It's like, in X amount of years, I want to be here. I want to be doing these things. This is the life that I envision for myself. This is how I want my partner to fit into that lifestyle. You should want to see the potential in that and see yourself living that life with that person. That's where I feel like you should be dating for potential. It's like, what do you want your life to look like? Does it look like what I want my life to look like? That's the potential part that you're going for.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Faye Podcast with your boy Brandan and the lovely Ciandra, my partner and co-host.
Yeah, hey y'all, it's Ciandra. Brandan keep making faces when I'm singing.
I don't know nothing about that. And so, welcome to episode 82. And, before we get started, I just want to let y'all know, we just need you to go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. So leave a comment below if you feel the need, but definitely we need that like and subscribe because it really does help the channel out. Now, you're going to jump straight into it?
Yes, Brandan has been keeping the first clip a secret because he wants my honest, raw reaction.
Raw.
So we gonna get
big raw.
I don't know if you need to add.
You're right. It got sexual.
Oh, also, hold on, it's muted, so I'm gonna have to go back to it in order to be able to get it to start from the beginning.
I've been married and divorced 3 times. And if I could say one thing about my experience, and I mean, you can take it or leave it, it's going to be this. Make sure that whoever you are dealing with, okay, whether it's, somebody you're dating, long-term, short-term, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or whatever, make sure that wherever they are at that moment, and by that moment, I mean, if they don't lose any weight, if they don't get a better job, if they don't fix, the childhood trauma, if they got a cat and you don't like cats, wherever they are at that moment, if you cannot deal with that, if you're thinking about, oh, well, if they change this and they change that and, over time, then we'll grow to be, if they don't change a thing, is that somebody that you want to commit yourself to?
That didn't help at all.
What? Coffee?
I tried to mute my mic, but I still heard it.
Your cough was too powerful.
So, yeah.
Dang. Those are some good points. I definitely think that you have, I'm not a married person, so I can't speak to the marriage part, but I do think that you should get with someone that you like right now, as opposed to thinking that there's someone that you will grow to like, hopefully in the future. Especially if you're doing marriage and relationships the way that we do in Western society, where it's like based off of love and commitment and desire for this person. You gotta desire them now, because it's not going to get any easier to desire them over time, especially if things don't change. It's going to be it'll be a longer history of them doing things that you don't like, and more you trying to convince yourself that you can deal with or manage or mitigate those things that you dislike.
Yeah, you're going to have to change in order to make the situation more bearable. That's going to happen that's more likely to happen than the other person changing who they are to meet some kind of ideal or some kind of picture that you had in your head that they can change into.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting, because I mean, the part that you're saying about you having to change is very true. It's like, what is actually within your control in this situation? And that person changing is not within your control. Your perspective is within your control. Your actions, your decision, your thought process, all of those things are within your control. And so if you are making the decision to commit to this person, a part of the decision that you're also making is to be with that person how they are right now, not with some hope of a future version of them.
Yeah. And I don't think we hear that enough, because I'm sure you heard as well. I've heard a lot of I can change them, or like it's always very future oriented when it comes to getting into relationships, but no one really. I haven't gotten too much messaging coming up. Now I'm hearing more of it, of just like making sure that who you with now is who you like. Do you like the person as they are now? And then obviously, hopefully, as you grow, you'll grow together and you continue to like this person moving forward. But I don't think that is happening.
Yeah.
A lot. So this kind of goes into, I guess, the main topic, kind of, which was dating for potential. Dating for potential and the growth versus like the reality of like right now. And because things, the universe tends towards entropy. That is that's physics. That's real. So pretty much means things generally don't get better as you go further along. Things break down as you go further along. You anything that you have in 10, 20 years is not going to be as popping as it was when you first got it. You was young and spry when you was younger. You get older, things don't start breaking down. That just happens. That's just like a natural part of, the universe. So I think that her message of you got to make sure that at the very least that you like who they are now. If they didn't change nothing else, like, are you cool with who they are?
But okay, so part of me wonders if it's circumstantial things, because I do think the things that she listed, like a cat or, weight gain or weight loss, all of those things can be dependent upon the circumstance, which isn't always 100% within our control. Like if you meet someone and they're making a certain amount of money, if their circumstance changes and they're making less money, that's not, they have some influence over that, of course, but they don't have complete control over that. And so I wonder where we draw the line between like liking a person for who they are and where they're at now versus like the circumstance that they're in that is maybe, influencing their behavior in certain ways. Like I'm thinking about people who maybe met in school, right? Like you meet someone, you're in college, you're both in college, the circumstance of college, right? The situation, the context in which you meet and form a relationship is guaranteed to change. Like y'all shouldn't be in college forever. Like that is going to change.
Right.
And so with that, there are going to be changes in your financial status, in your availability, maybe changes in your stress levels and your response to stress. Like all of those things are more than likely to change. And so if I like carefree, 21-year-old you, I don't know that 27-year-old you who has stress and real world things going on in a different context is going to be the exact same person. So how can I don't know. I guess I just wonder like what are the things that we're saying are non-potential based or non-circumstantial based things that we have to like about that person?
I mean, I think you raise a good point. How I'm viewing it is the person that you get into a relationship with. If that changes, I mean, it is liable to change because through time. But when I get with you, so like when I first met, I liked you off top. So it's like if nothing else changed, I would have been okay. I didn't get with you with like I like her, but like I just need her to do X, Y, and Z, and then we'll be good. Now, if I got with you then, and then like through something happens, and then like circumstances change, that's just part of life. Like I got with you already because I liked you. I like how you were. Now, if you change in a way that like is no longer palatable to me, then that's a whole separate conversation. That's just like life shit. That's not me getting into a relationship with gambling, hoping that something is going to change because you didn't have it at that time. I got with you because you had everything I wanted and I liked, and so I rock with that because it makes sense. And then if something happens in the future, that's just what it is. Relationships, break up all the time. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. And then as to the weight gain and loss and like that is completely 9.9 times out of 10, that's completely within your control. So like if I got with you and you were already a weight that I personally was not happy with the idea of like, well, I can get in the gym.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And but then she's like, I don't want to work out. I'm happy with where I am. I can't be mad at her because like I made that decision to do that. So like, but if the reverse happened, then you might have an argument, I guess. You know, you might be able to have a leg to stand on, so to speak. But it was just like, if I got with you and you already had traits that I didn't like and didn't see having in someone long term, and I'm hoping that I can make a change in you, but then you don't want to make that change, that's my fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like that leads to one of those, it leads to divorce. I think it leads to resentment and discontentment in a relationship, because I resent you for not changing, when really and truly I probably should resent myself and be mad with myself for settling for something that wasn't actually palatable to me. But it's much easier to turn that vitriol outward. Yeah. And blame the other person for not being willing to change, or blame the other person for not holding up their end of the bargain if they said they were going to change, or something to that effect. It's
much easier to lash out and make it somebody. It's easier in like the fact of like, yeah, it's just overall easier because you don't have to do the self-reflection and you don't have to take the accountability. You just be like, you know what, this failed because this outside, I had nothing to do with it. I have no control over it. So it's easy to, you know, to dodge the blame, or so to speak, or you know, for that. So that's also a kind of a natural, you know, response. It's easier to be like, you know, it's because the other person. You rarely think of ourselves as the problem unless it happens over time and people will like tell you, and yeah. So and the people who always think they're the problem, that's like a mental health thing.
Yeah,
usually.
It makes me think of the real, am I the drama? I'm not the drama. Am I the drama?
Do you have the video?
No.
Damn, could put that up.
We could have, but y'all have seen it before. There's nothing else in the video besides a person like having that and like doing calculations of like,
oh yeah, I'm the toxic one.
Yeah, am I the toxic one? And yes, it is you.
Right. So, oh, sorry. Did you have another?
No, go ahead.
So, with that being said, I guess you had mentioned something about what is, you know, maybe I'm imagining that, but I'm thinking, what are the things? Scratch that. I'm wondering if it's possible that the things that we say we can't tolerate or we can't take that leads to the divorce, are those things really, when you look at it, like,
they're not new things.
Like they're new things, but are they things that could have been worked on? So, you know, like people make things that non-negotiable, but when they're really like, that's not really that a big deal. Are we making mountains out of molehills when it's for some of these things? Like what do you think some of the things that, if they were to change into a negative fashion, it's like grounds for like, this is not what I signed up for?
I want to address a different question.
Okay.
Because where I thought you were going was a connection to this idea of like dating for potential. And with that, I would say sometimes people end up getting a divorce because a not new problem has grown. It was a molehill at first, right? It was like something you ignored, something that you didn't think was that big of a problem. It is now a mountain after X amount of years. And it may be a mountain because your attention is on it, right? Like maybe because you keep focusing on it, you keep revisiting it.
That's all you see.
So then it becomes much larger in your perspective. It may become a mountain because it's something that is unresolvable and you keep waiting until the day that it's going to be resolved. And so you are disillusioned, unhopeful, you know, restless, because like this thing that I thought we were going to solve in X amount of time, we still haven't solved, and it's frustrating me, and now I'm ready to like call it quits. And so I wondered if relationships that end because of those types of disagreements or those types of problems the relationship could have been avoided, the problem could have been avoided or handled if they never ended up in a relationship because they were waiting. They expected this thing to change that was never going to change. And
I also wonder if that expectation was communicated in any way. But okay, to I guess kind of tie my question into the growth and potential topic, I guess, is at what point is, because like it's good that you, if you can identify somebody who has potential and has ability to grow and be greater and better and like rock with a person because of that. But at what point dating for the potential, not a good look, not a good idea. Like people can have plenty of potential, but people waste potential all the goddamn time. So it's like it's potential, not enough of a basis for you, not you specifically, but like for people to bet on when it comes to getting into relationships with people. Like, oh, I see something in them. I just know it. They just.
I don't know. A part of me feels like there's a character trait. What am I trying to say? I think what I'm saying is you should be able to see the vision for their life, the vision that that person has for their life, and want to partake in that vision and believe that that person is capable of achieving that vision that they have for their life, even if they haven't done it yet. That's the potential part that you are maybe investing in. It's like, in X amount of years, I want to be here. I want to be doing these things. This is the life that I envision for myself. This is how I want my partner to fit into that lifestyle. You should want to see the potential in that and see yourself living that life with that person. That's where I feel like you should be dating for potential. It's like, what do you want your life to look like? Does it look like what I want my life to look like? That's the potential part that you're going for. But I think if we're talking about potential for change or potential to change characteristics or habits, things like that, you shouldn't be dating with the intention or the desire that this person has the potential to change their habits. That takes a lot of work. And on top of it, taking a lot of work is not something that you can do based off of external motivation and be able to sustain. So say, for instance, I want you to start working out, right? You don't have any motivation to work out, but I'm like, babe, let's go. Like, I'm going to start going. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to keep you motivated. There's going to come a point in time where you're like, I don't like this. I don't enjoy this. I'm doing this for you, but it's not doing anything for me. And I don't want to keep doing this. Like it doesn't fit with my schedule, whatever. And so my dating for potential for you to change this habit is not going to lead to the results that I want. And I'm ultimately going to be disappointed and frustrated with you as to where other aspects of our relationship could be good. We could have a happy, healthy relationship in all these other aspects. But this one problem that is probably unsolvable as it stands right now, because you're not motivated to do it. There's no intrinsic motivation. There's no buy-in for it. If I focus on that one thing, that thing could lead to the end of our relationship, as opposed to choosing someone who is interested in fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking, I think that also has to do with mindset, right? Like there's a lot out here that makes people believe that there are not enough good men, that makes women believe that there are not enough good men out there for them. So if you have a scarcity mindset when you're going out to date, even if you are dating multiple people, you think like
everybody, something wrong with every one of them.
And so which one is the least problematic? Which one is going to cause me the least headaches? Which one do I have the least amount of work to do with if I'm still looking at potential? And then you choose that person.
Damn. When you say it like that sounds terrible. It's like, yeah, I'm not going for which one I like the most. I'm going for the one I dislike the least.
Well, I would say you still date for people that you like. Like, I don't think that you settle so far down that you don't date anyone that you're attracted to. You find people that, because it can take a bit to get to a date, right? Like, it's not just like you meet someone on an app and then automatically you're on a date. There is some type of exchange. So you do have some initial investment in that person. But yeah, I would say it's like,
and I know I'm just saying it's just like the men. I'm kind of amused by the mentality. Like you said, like if you have the scarcity mindset, you automatically assuming that something wrong. Like everybody is trash. I'm just looking for the cleanest piece of trash. Mm-hmm. So that when you say that, when I heard you say that, to me it sounded like I'm just looking for the cleanest piece of trash, as opposed to just like I'm looking for the best one for me. It's a distinction, because it's like, if I'm telling the story of how we met, and I'm like, yo, and it was hard out here, and man, these hoes ain't nothing, bro. So I just had to find me the least hoish one out there. I got her.
That sounds horrible.
That sounds terrible, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when I was hearing you describe that, that's what it sounded like to me when it comes to describing Like, man, it's like, yeah, something wrong with all these ones. So I'm just finding the one that I just dislike the least, the one who has the least amount of problems. Even though what you're saying is correct, and that's really what we are looking for. But it's just like the framing of it, or like the things that you're paying most attention to, it can be telling when it comes to, not you specifically, obviously, because it's just how you review a relationship, how you go in thinking and looking at people. Like going into a relationship thinking like I'm looking for the problems, as opposed to I'm looking for the ways in which we complement each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think that harps back to what we talked about in our last episode of like the advice that you get from elders of like, if he's doing this and he's not, if he's doing that, then he's not interested. A lot of those things are problem focused, right? Like you're looking at things that can potentially go wrong to help you identify how to cut your losses, like how to let someone go. And I do think, or I do wonder if dating for potential is born out of, one, a scarcity mindset, but two, also like a certain sense of like resignation of like, maybe you have followed the things that were of the people that were of the most interest to you. Maybe you have like sought out fairy tale or, super romance, but those things didn't lead you to where you wanted to go either. So I think you get to a place where you're like, okay, this is the list.
Is that an overcorrection? So it's like if it's like I'm going in looking for a Disney fairy tale, and then you get shot out the sky with that. It's the overcorrection being like, all right, I'm keeping it completely business. I got a checklist that like I'm looking for these signs immediately, and if I see any of these, I'm out. Is that the overcorrection?
It might be. It might be. It might be an overcorrection to go very far in that direction. It might. Yeah, I think it might be an overcorrection. What do you think is the middle ground?
I think the middle ground is being able to enjoy yourself, like have dates with people that you believe that you're having a good time. Like, I think that, yeah, like the first date is just trying to see, like, can I have a good time with this person? Do I like being around this person? Like, first and foremost, I'm assuming from a woman's perspective, do I feel safe? Are they giving weird, like, they're gonna hit me upside the head when I turn around vibes? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think, and for a man, it's like, I'm more like, it doesn't feel like she's trying to finesse me. It doesn't feel like she's going to put me under the phone as food guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would imagine that it would go in like, I'm trying to go out, get my numbers up, do dates, and then meet people that I enjoy having time with. And then the ones I don't, all right, all y'all weeded out. Now I got a pool of people that I enjoy all my time with. I don't know too much else about you, but I know I like being around you. Look good. Like, you got to meet those prerequisites. All right, now I can go on dates with y'all and then learn more about you and learn more about each person. And then, but I'm still enjoying my time until it doesn't. And then you get moved to the side. I'm not looking for I guess I'm not looking at it as like a time sensitive thing. Now that may be like a male privilege thing coming from my end. It's just like, hey, I got time. I'm just trying to enjoy my time. And then like the cream of the crop will make themselves known as I use my discernment and like ensure that the people that I am interacting with, at the very least, I enjoy being around. I'm not trying to be around somebody who I don't have an initial spark or whatever with.
So I hear that. I do think that it is important to have chemistry with someone, to feel like you can connect with them, have a conversation with them, communicate with them. I think that part is very important. And also, well, no, that's it. I think that's a good happy middle ground. Is like, okay, as if you at least have chemistry with that person, y'all can get along.
I can work with this.
Yeah, that's a good starting point to be able to figure out if you can move forward. It doesn't have to be like overly romantic, because I mean, I would say from my last experience of dating, there was someone who was super duper romantic, like very sweet, but like there wasn't any chemistry there for me, and I was like, this is really nice and I like being treated nicely, but
Somebody gonna love it.
Yeah, congratulations to your future wife, because it ain't me, big buddy. Like, I'm not feeling it from you.
I get that.
And then there's also like, yeah, so I think that there's a range. There's like people that maybe you have chemistry with, but you're like, I don't see this going any further. Like, I can see the glass ceiling, or I can see the end of the road for us, just because we're not in the same place, stuff like that. So I get what you're saying. I definitely think that that's a good happy middle ground, is just like, go for the vibes. Let's just see if we vibe.
Yeah.
If we can continue to vibe.
Right. And of course,
that's true. And I think, I'm sorry, I'm just reflecting on the early stages of our relationship and how consistently I was like, oh, I like this. I trust this. This feels good. This feels familiar. This feels pretty safe. I like this person. I'm still liking this person.
Right. So like, and to your point, I've also had that same experience. It's like, you're a perfectly like nice woman. Like, you're a great person to be around, but like, no, I don't see me and you being anything like serious. And of course, in the process of going through that, what I described as the middle ground, like, you have to make adjustments based off where that other person is in their life. So like, you can vibe and you like them, you really do, but maybe you're not interested in being in a serious relationship. And then she's like, yeah, I'm here, I'm looking for, so like, we're not, this is where I'm at. I'm not there yet. Maybe in the future, but I'm not here yet. And if that's like a no-go for her, then you gotta let that go, and vice versa. So yeah, so I just think that off top, coming out the gate, I think that's a good middle ground. And of course, you make adjustments as you meet and interact, with people. Everybody isn't for you, and you shouldn't be trying to make it. You're not looking for everybody. You're looking for one, or whatever you want, whatever number you have that you want your relationships to look like. Now, do you have anything else? Now, you said, when I asked you about the potential, dating for the potential, and you said that if they have an idea of like their life, what their life is going to look like, and you believe that they have the ability and capability to reach that, that's a good model to not gamble, but like go with, like to rock with.
That's the potential that maybe you're looking at.
Right. And I like that. I like what you said. I think that has a very good distinction from the common conception of like, oh yeah, like, date for the potential to be greatness. And I think the point is their ability and willingness and their want to reach that potential. So like, they come to you like, yo, this is my plan, and how they're speaking about it and describing it, like, I'm going to do this, and then it's going to lead to that, and I'm doing that, and so you can see it. You can see like how the dots are connecting. You're like, that's a good plan. Like, I like that. And I'm saying, and how you speaking on it, it is indicating to me that you know what the hell you're talking about. And then I see where you are now, and I can see that like you've already completed parts of the plan to get there. I'm willing. Your business plan is solid. You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody who's just like, I want to be rich, but I work at McDonald's and I've been working here for, I don't know. I mean, let me not say McDonald's. That seems like a stretch. I'm at administrative assistant, 9 to 5, making whatever, what have you, but it has nothing to do with what they say they want. You know what I mean? And they're not in school to do the thing, So it's like, yeah, I'm doing this thing right now, but I'm in school right now. I'm getting my master's. I'm getting my master's because that's going to lead to this and this and this and that. And you see me do, and I'm like, okay, you got a plan, and there's action behind that. And I think that's the distinction between like what people should be looking out for when it comes to dating for potential, and the growth part of it is just like the actions and the intent. There we go, behind it.
Yeah, because another thing I'm thinking as you're saying that is like people who maybe it's almost like similar to a job search. It's like, I'm looking for a man in this industry, right? Like, say maybe I want to date an NBA player, right? Or like I want to date NBA player. Let's just go with an NBA player. Okay, he's an NBA player. Great. He makes a certain amount of money, that he checks that box. Maybe he is tall, checks that box. He handsome, he checks that box. But you sit down and you have a conversation with this person of like, okay, where you see yourself going? What do you want to do? And he's like, actually, I really want to be an art teacher. So when I retire from the league, I'm giving all my wealth away. I'm going to become an art teacher. And like, that's how I'm going to live the rest of my life.
And I've already bought me the trailer, the van, and I'm going to travel around the country.
And that's his jam. Like, that's the shit that keeps him up at night. He can't wait for it. He's looking forward to that part of his life. And you are over here like, I just thought I needed to get an NBA player, and that was all that it was going to take for me to be set. And it's like, no, this person has other dreams, hopes, wishes, aspirations, and you have to account for those things. I think the same thing of like, maybe you get with a doctor or you get with a lawyer, like someone who is like, has a profession, has invested a lot of time in order to get to this level of in their career to be able to do this thing. But like the vision that they have for their life is totally different than the profession or the location that they want to be in. Like, I really want to live abroad. Like, that's totally different from where they're at right now. And so even if it looks like they have all this potential right now, or it looks like the circumstances that they're in align with how you want your life to go, you do still need to ask that question.
You do.
Even if you think it like, oh, this is it. They check the boxes. It's like, if
they check the box right now.
Yes, they check the box right now. If they want to be an art teacher and live out in an RV and that's not how you want to live, it sounds like there's going to be a conflict. But I also think that there is a certain amount of unknown that we're always going to face when we're going into a relationship. There's always going to be a little bit that the person doesn't know about themselves.
Agreed.
And a little bit that they don't know about themselves as it relates to like who they are in this relationship, right? What role they might play, what ultimately will best benefit the family. You know, that vision, that dream might get shifted or put on the back burner or, you know, not come to fruition for 20 years. You okay with that?
Yeah. That's a tall order to ask. That's something, because that's not a tall order. It sounds wild because like you don't know like if that happens, but like I guess you got to kind of roll with the punches a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like if I'm coming to you and I'm like, hey, I got this aspiration. I see us being here, and the way I see us doing it is by going to med school and becoming a doctor. And then second year of med school, I'm like, yeah, I don't fuck with this at all. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go a different path. Like, that's not what I promised you. But that being said, I would still hope and think that as a man, you would, knowing that you said that your plan was this, and which implies a certain lifestyle that was going to be coming behind it. I feel like you got to do everything in your power to get something close to it. Maybe you don't get the easy $300,000-$400,000 plus a year that a contract as a doctor would give you. But like, are you whatever you're going to replace that with, is it going to get somewhere close to the lifestyle that you promised? And because like, if it doesn't, you can't be too mad or surprised if like the other person is like I signed up under for these stipulations, because like if the roles were reversed and you got with a woman who was like, she was in the gym and she looked good and she really did care about how she looking and taking care of you, and then she have a kid, and then suddenly none of that shit matters anymore, or something changed. Let's not even say a kid, because that brings up a whole different conversation. Something changed and she was like, I don't really fuck with the gym no more. I don't really care about that no more. I realized that like I was being very superficial by doing da. She can't be mad if the dude's like, yo, like, I got with you under, like, that's not what I signed up for.
Mm-hmm. You can be mad.
Yeah,
you can definitely be mad. But in being mad, you also need to reflect on your responsibility and be accountable for the actions that you took that led to the dissolution of your relationship, right? Like, you still have to be accountable for those things. And a relationship to me is different than a marriage. I think if in a relationship, yes, maybe I would walk away if it was like, okay, like, I thought we were going here. This is where I wanted to go. This is where I wanted our life to go. I invested this time. It doesn't sound like you're going in the same direction that I'm going anymore. And I think it's best that we part ways. In a marriage,
I mean, it's a little tougher than that. It has to be.
We put some years, and that's why I'm saying a part of it is like, it's not that it's never going to happen. It's just not happening right. Like I told you, 10 years, it's looking like it's going to take me 20. Like it's just going to take me longer to get here. We had a setback. Again, there are things that are going to happen that are outside of our control. Like,
and you can't fault them for acts of God, so to speak.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I'm saying is like a part of what happens. Like I can imagine if you thought 2020 was going to be your year and the pandemic wiped all of your shit away. You just started a new business. You quit your job. Woo. And it's like, babe, I'm going to do this full time. We're going to be and
you believe it because like in 2019 it was just they was doing it part time because they had other 4-time job, and you saw the statements. They was getting the money coming. He's like, "Hey, I'm going all in, baby. I'm going all in." And, based off of what I got here, this is probably what it's going to look like. And then you do it, and then March 15, 2020 come, shut everything down, and now you looking like, baby, like, whew, now I'm a barista for a little bit.
And that's the thing that makes the difference. If this happens, if this setback happens, how do you actually respond to it? Right. Like, is this setback big enough for us to totally give up this dream? Or are you like, okay, I got to pivot? Like your ability to pivot and be able to like move on to different things is an important skill for you to be able to have. I'm not saying lose sight of the dream and say like, forget about it. We're not going to do this no more. And that's the problem with the med school example. Why are you quitting in year 2? What's actually going on here that's making you quit? It's challenging and you want to quit. So when shit gets tough here, you just gonna quit? Like, how does it work? That's not going to be acceptable in this relationship or elsewhere in your life. That's like real. You can't just walk away if shit gets hard.
That is a phenomenal point. That is a great point. And you like how they handle themselves under pressure, under changing circumstances. Like how agile are they in thought and action when things don't go their way? Because things aren't going to go your way all the time. No one's that good. Something's going to happen that's going to fuck the game up. And I kind of hope that anybody that is just hitting their 30s, I pray and hope that you've had at least a couple setbacks in your life. Because like if you have not, when it hits you, you ain't gonna know what to do. Mm-hmm. Like I hope the setbacks come at a point in your life where it's easier for you to recover. Because like if it's just you and you have a setback. It's just you, baby. I don't mind eating some ramen noodles. But if a setback hits you and it's like you got a family on your back, that pressure is something phenomenal. So I will hope you got your reps in like earlier on in your life so that you can. So when you're in the game time, and I'm considered game time being when you got other people depending on you, you're like, I've been here before. I know what I need to do and blah, 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 and at least to pull something together. Man, because I'm thinking of the times where was it the 2008 crash, or like even further back when they had the stock market crash, like motherfuckers was billionaires or millionaires and jumping out of windows because oh my God, I can't do this anymore. So yeah, that you said a word. And additionally, it reminded me of that video of that older black couple from like Dear Future Wifey, where my man was making $150,000 in the 90s. And then he decided, hey, I'm going to give it all up and become a minister. And then they had the video just how his wife, they're still married. They've been married for like 50 plus years, and how she reacted to it. She was like, boy, what's the word they use when like they're like clashing? They did like deep ministry. What was it? They did some kind of terminology to indicate fighting in or
I can't remember what it was. When we go to our intimate discussions, it was something. I feel like it was churchy.
Yeah, it was very churchy. I was like, I like how y'all phrase that. But yeah, it's like, how do you handle that? Like, how do you handle, like, especially in the night? And from what I'm understanding of the situation, she was like a stay-at-home wife. Like he was the only breadwinner, and he was bringing in that bread. 150 in the 90s. Just for context, that's about, what was it come out to? That's about
324.
No, it's like double, like a little bit over double, like 375, pushing 400,000 in today's money. In the 90s, boy. And he said, "I'm giving out all up, and I'm going to be a minister, and I'm starting from scratch. I ain't got nobody in my church right now. I'm building that up.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a hard ass. And that is a hard ass to like come to terms with. I ain't even gonna hold you on either. So whoever come with that. So even if she was working and was making decent money, that's like, yo, but they pulled it out and they stuck through it and pushed through. And now my man's is out here doing his thing now. So I say all that to say, I agree with you. the how you handle yourself with the setbacks and the like, okay, this was the plan, but things happen, X, Y, and Z. You was here with me. I kept you abreast. You saw what was going. You see him working, and so you were likely to stay because like I still believe that you can get this done. I know that like things were just going well, and you was getting close to it, but then like Rona happened or what have you happened, and you still have the capability to do it, but you just gotta we have to adjust for an unforeseen circumstance, and once we overcome that, I trust that you're gonna get it done because I see that you are already trying to pivot and do what you need to do. Now, if you that thing happening, like you said, you know what, I'm just gonna get this job as a teacher, and I'm just gonna ride this out. Now that's a whole different, that's an issue.
Yeah, I mean it's an issue because of you selling yourself short as well, right? Like it's concerning that you don't believe in you, but you expect me to believe in you.
You can't believe in nobody harder than I mean, you can, but
it's not going to do them no good. If you don't believe in your dream, I mean, I can believe in it. I can support it. I can say something to you about it, but you're the person who's going to have to ultimately do the work in order to be able to achieve
your dream.
Because it's your dream. It's the thing that you want. So I can support you. I can be on the sidelines helping you achieve it, but you got to want it for yourself. Like I can't.
You got to be the lead. You know what I'm saying? I could be at best, I can be the co-pilot. Like I can be the person who I might be at best. I might be able to hop in the driver's seat so you can get a couple hours of sleep. But soon as you get I need you back in the driver's seat because this is your shit. You driving the boat, and I trusted that you'd be able to do it. Yeah, because if I'm driving the boat, then it's my boat,
and then I'm leading, and
that comes with other things. That's a whole another conversation.
One of the things that I was thinking as we were talking about like adversity and facing adversity and overcoming adversity, I think those are the things that you reflect on the most as time passes in your marriage. I watched a short clip of Kev on stage receiving the NAACP Image Award, and he brought
shout out to Kev.
He brought his wife Melissa on stage, and one of the first things that he said after like, I wouldn't be here without her is like, there was a time where I got fired from my job and Melissa held down everything financially, and she was editing these videos and she was like, reading lines with me or doing these things really because she was a teammate. She was a co-pilot. She was willing to work with me, and we overcame. Like I couldn't be here where I'm at right now without her. And a part of that is because when we were in the face of adversity, she didn't turn her back. Like she didn't walk away from me and like leave me there. She helped me be able to overcome that thing. And so I think that's a really important part of this as well. It's like potential, maybe not, but belief and faith in the person that you're with, that they can do the thing that they say that they're going to do, that they are capable of it, that they are going to work hard enough to be able to see that thing be achieved. That's really important and shouldn't be slept on.
Agreed. I definitely think that is true. And I think that's something that I guess women should definitely take heart and keep in mind when it comes to, vetting their partners. And as well for men, considering what you just said about Melissa and how she held him down, men should be looking out for that type of mentality as well. Like somebody that you trust that like, she's gonna support me, and if things get hard, she ain't gonna be, she's not gonna turn your back on you. Because I feel like a lot of dudes feel like they gotta carry it all by themselves, and it can be very lonely. It can be very stressful, and there's a lot of pressure when you feel like everything is on you, solely dependent on you, and you don't feel like you can count on your life partner to be able to support you and like help you in any way possible. So yeah, I think look for the woman who's ready, who's willing to to run with you, or run next to you, or run behind you, or however will have or at very least be along the trail to give you water to keep you hydrated on your journey, and not somebody waiting at the finish line for you to cross it and be like, ha, you won, you got everything you need now. Let me just slide in there now.
Yeah. I don't know. Was that our final food for thought?
Shit, that might have been.
Yeah.
And hey, these transitions into final food for thought is just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. How you feel?
Good.
All right. With that being said, we are done with this week's episode 82 of the Buffet Podcast with moi.
and toi.
And is that how you say it? Toi?
You. Me and you.
It's toi. That's you? Oh, I didn't know that. Moi and toi, I guess. Okay. Tune in next week. We'll be back with another one. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Do some commenting. Let us know what you thought. What are your thoughts regarding this dating for potential and growth, and what are the things that you currently look out for when it comes to this stuff? And if you're already in a relationship / married, like I know at the top of my head, a couple people that are married to each other that listen to our stuff. Don't let me say your name. You know who I'm talking about. That happen to live in Florida. Let us know, how did y'all vet? How did y'all gain that trust that the other person is, about that life, is willing to do what's necessary to make the relationship work and their goals in life? And how did you know the other person was going to be a helpmate?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we good? You good? Yeah. Peace.
See y'all next time.
You're